Why radical? We build race cars. We race iconic tracks. We set lap records. We build friendships. We create champions. We make racers.
Welcome to Sebring and welcome to the 2025 Radical Cup North America Series. My name's Tom Drewer, and as you can see, Turn 7 and the fantastic 7 Hotel here at Sebring. It's relatively early in the morning. The sunshine is out though in the sunny state of Florida, and after an intensive day of testing, in fact, 2 days of testing and qualifying, it's time to go racing for round one. Well, we've already given it away, but round one is Sebring International Raceway, of course, home of the famed 12 hours, and everyone in the state setting up for that one. In fact, a lot of infrastructure around this circuit. Fantastic famous corners, Sunset Bend leading into the front straightaway. Very, very difficult to sight yourself under the bridge around Sunset, down into turn one, also very bumpy on the original pavement from the runways, the World War II runways here at Sebring. Then it's into 3, 4, 5 and 6, and a little bit of a breather for the drivers as they barrel down into turn 7, a big hairpin, a big braking zone, and a great passing opportunity. Turn 10, also a fantastic opportunity for passing. And then it's around to the backside of the circuit. And certainly drivers down on the grid ready to get going. It was an interesting day of qualifying yesterday. Some fresh faces in this championship and some big names as well coming across the pond in terms of teams. None other than Valor Racing joining the grid, and we caught up with their driver that's moved from Group A, Jack Yang, about the new venture.
Yeah, I was really excited. The Valor guys, I've been working with them in the UK and UAE. I raced a couple of races in Europe with them as well. I was just, really happy they offered me the opportunity to, run my races here in the US. I guess it's going really well. Hopefully it gets me to something even bigger down the road. But for now, and I'm really happy, the boys are here. It's just a tremendous effort they put together to run my cars. Actually, I brought 2 cars here. Bobby Thompson, my driver coach, drove my other car yesterday. Everything ran perfectly fine. I was really happy with the effort.
And another man that was particularly happy with the effort was Andy Vocal, a new driver, another fresh face on the grid. It was one of surprise, though, as he went fastest in Pro 1340, and what was meant to be a one race here at the start of the season may turn into a full one.
Not sure yet. I guess we'll see how the rest of the weekend goes, and maybe we can make some other sponsors excited to come on board and potentially be a part of a championship-winning car. It's definitely surreal. Wasn't expected. I can honestly say that, especially after practice 2, looking at the gap between me and Jace Bacon. I really didn't have high hopes, and then I laid down an 11.8, and my spotter came across the radio and said I was P1, and it was kind of like that cat meme where it's like, huh? So that's kind of my reaction initially, and then came in and they said I was still P1, which I wasn't expecting, and now we're here.
And it's not just the young guns that have joined the Radical Cup North America Series, of course, always a favourite for the older gentlemen in racing as well. And a new kid on the block, certainly for Radical Racing, is Dermot Ennis. He's done a lot of racing over the years, and we caught up with him after qualifying to ask how he ended up on the grid.
To be honest with you, so I saw my first Radical race 2 years ago in Laguna. I've been racing since 1978. Just started talking to the guys and really saw the camaraderie between everybody, the professionalism, and I've always wanted to do this. I did some IMSA racing back in the 90s, and I said, I want to get back into it before I get too old. And came out to a couple of more races and met more and more people and just talked to you and talked to everyone, and everyone was so welcoming. I said, man, this is definitely the series I want to do.
Well, I can hear cars on the racetrack, and we can see that pace car going down the front straightaway. Of course, this is hallowed ground in American and international motorsport. You can see the nationalities there. There's 4 represented here in the Radical Cup this weekend. The likes of Fangio, Moss, Brabham, Andretti, McNish, Moore have found success. Who will be on top of the podium after 40 minutes of Radical Cup racing today? That is the question. We'll take you through the grid, and starting from the back, it will be not David Albon, because he was entered but couldn't attend this event. It will be Wayne Williams and Scott Wagner. Both suffered from fuel pump issues in qualifying. Very rare to see. They'll start off row 13 in the Platinum Class cars and will be ones to watch, both vying for that Sunoco Hard Charger Award. In row 12, Dermot Ennis, who we just spoke to, and Drew Altman will join him in position back of the grid, and Drew Altman in the 11 was unlucky in qualifying. He actually the car was slightly too light, and so therefore he starts near the back. Cedric O'Hayon, one of our Canadian competitors, will start from row 11 alongside Kenny Nail from Graham Rahal Performance. Nail doing a tremendous job in Pro 1340 last year. Aurora Strauss, she returns to the grid in the 72 machine, and we'll start from row 10 alongside Mike Darden, who's a rookie out of the Crown Concepts with Apex Motor Club stable. Seth Bacon, a teammate, will start from row 9 alongside Mike D'Ambrose for Team Stradale, and Mike D'Ambrose, a strong competitor, originally up from the Illinois area, and will certainly be one to watch. Also too is Jace Bacon, son of Seth Bacon, and they start effectively line astern. In between them, Brady Clapham, and Brady being guided by his older brother as he embarks on his motor racing career, and fantastic to see Ryspec Racing back on the grid and another Canadian in the field. Andy Vocal will start from row 7 alongside Ryan Persing, and if you think, I know that name Persing, it's because the older brother. Again, this is a family affair. Persing, no strangers to the Radical Cup racing. It was a championship for the Persings last time they entered, and we'll see what Ryan can do. Held up a little bit in qualifying yesterday. Row 6 will be Valen Venkatesh, another younger brother to start, and Arul Venkatesh has been a long-time competitor in Radical Cup racing. Now it's time for the younger Valen to try his luck from row 6. He'll be alongside Spencer Schmidt, of course Sam Schmidt's son, and Spencer converting from Cameron Racing to Graham Rahal Performance for this year. We'll see what he can do out of row 6. Austin Riley will start from row 5 alongside Mike Anzaldi, And those two are no strangers to battling it out on the track. They were vying for the Pro 1340 title a couple of years ago. Austin Riley came out on top in terms of that battle. We'll see how they do this year. Jack Yang was impressive in the gold class last year. He won a race at Road America. He'll start from row 4 alongside Gustavo Raffles, a champion that returns to Pro 1500 ranks. The last time he was at Sebring, he was celebrating his 2001 championship. Raiden Nicol impressed many in his debut at Barber last year. He was unlucky not to win one of 3 races, and you can see the cars are just coming around. We'll finish off the grid here. So alongside Raiden Nicol, we have Ben Blander in the 134 machine. Then it's Chip Romer, Louis Schreiber. Steve Jenks shares the front row of the grid with Mackay Stevens. They're side by side, looking nice and neat, and the green flag flies early. Mackay Stevens with a strong jump there. It looks like Austin Riley's having a look up to the inside, 3 wide as we head down into turn 1, very high speed. Everyone's got to find their moment and not end up in that red dirt on the outside, but we've had a moment and there was cars running wide there, and I fear they might have found the wall. A hip and shoulder as well between Steve Jenks and one of the other SR10 machines as Raiden Nicol goes over, and Jenks has run off into the track himself. So actually, no, that looks like certainly a white car. Can't quite pick up the number. So we'll wait and see who that is. And down into turn 7, a little bit more jostling for the 134 machine of Ben Blander, who now finds himself, I think, 3rd on the racetrack. So that could have been Louis Schreiber that had that moment. Just waiting for timing and scoring to cycle through, but certainly drama at the front of the field in the Platinum class. I think it was Steve Jenks who locked up into turn 3. So it's showing Mackay Stevens leading the race from Louis Schreiber, who's capitalised on that chaos. Chip Romer in 3rd. So Chip's actually fallen back. So we have lost Chip Romer in all of that. And Mackay Stevens is certainly still out in front. So full course yellow. Not surprising, we saw cars off in turn 1 as well as turn 3. So after what has been a calm start, and you can see there the 99 of Spencer Schmidt also travelling slowly around the racetrack. So he's been on the back foot with not a lot of testing leading up to this event, and Spencer not starting his championship the way that he wanted. So the car's coming around just to collect the safety car. The white flag is out, indicating that the emergency vehicles are already on the circuit. So a quick response here from the safety crews at Sebring, as is expected. And it was Andy Vocal who was on the pole in Pro 1340. You can see on the timing chart that Seth Bacon has eclipsed Andy and taken over the lead in Pro 1340. No dramas for Raiden Nicol, although he's got a champion behind him in Gustavo Raffles. And I think Raffles has been finding his feet quite a bit through the weekend. Effectively a bit of a family racing effort for Gustavo Raffles, and I think just coming to grips with the level that Radical Cup competition has raised to over the last couple of years. But he's sitting pretty behind Raiden Nicol. Now Wayne Williams has done a tremendous job off the back of the grid. He's up to 6, would you believe, in that opening lap. Steve Jenks has found his way back to pit lane, but that looked like heavy contact. And interesting that just into turn 3, the first time you hit the brakes And Steve Jenks, with the rear wing folded over. So Jenks just trundling down pit lane, and he'll no doubt return to the paddock. The team can start working on that one. But just the first time he went to the brakes, you could see a big lockup. And obviously the Hankook tyres and those performance friction brakes just not quite ready to go. It was one pace lap, but it's a long circuit here. So all other drivers not having an issue with that one. But certainly some other commotion in turn one. And no surprise, the concrete runways, it's quite wide down into turn one. And then it narrows on the exit. And that red clay catching a few drivers out. So we just see there in shot Spencer Schmidt has got into the infield as well. So Mackay Stevens has converted his pole into the early lead from Louis Schreiber. Ben Blander, so Team Stradale running 1 and 3. That's good news for them. Be interested to see how Wayne Williams, what he can do on this restart. So too, what can Jack Yang do? Can he capitalise on Wayne Williams carving his way up through those two front runners in Pro 1500? Raiden Nicol, Gustavo Raffles will have their mirrors full of the that Dayglow 57 machine from Wayne Williams. So all of a sudden, the top 1500 runners will be line astern, I suggest. Of course, Jack Yang and Mike Anzaldi, the G next to their name signifies that they're also vying for the gold class win. And the R's signify our rookies in the field. The classes designated by the colours, the yellow matching the yellow on the rear wing of the Platinum class cars, the green on the back of the 1340s and the red on the back of the Pro 1500s. 1340 designates the CC of the engine, 1500 CCs and the other SR3s, a little bit quicker. And then, of course, 425 brake horsepower from the SR10s. So the safety car getting a couple too many laps here at Sebring. Certainly not what we like to see. But it's racing, and for a number of these drivers, it's their first race of the season. The nerves overcoming a couple in turns 1 and 3. Mike Anzaldi survived all of that in the 61 machine. He's sported a couple of Williams-esque liveries over the past, so we can see the Jacques Villeneuve and Damon Hill era Williams livery on the side of the 61. Wayne Williams, there he is in that stunning car. A little bit further back, you can see the Stella Artois car just in the middle of the shot there of Chip Roma with Ryan Persing just behind him. And great to see the number 19 continues in motorsport. Steve Cameron, team manager of Cameron Racing and Radical Northwest. Always ran with the famous number 19 for the Kiwi. And Nick Persing used that number to great success, winning the championship in a hard-fought battle. It all came down to the wire at Laguna Seca in front of a home crowd. Daniel Jashelski and Nick Persing duking it out down to the final pit stop in the race 3. A little bit of traffic for Jashelski as he entered the pits, and that was basically the race won for Nick Persing. The championship went to California and to Radical Northwest. And now it's his younger brother's chance to have a crack at the Radical Cup North America program. Nick Persing. A bit of a journeyman driver, and has found a couple of lucky breaks recently in SRO competition. So he's certainly stepped up the level of competition in that platinum class. Louis Schreiber, no stranger to the podium either, a former Pro 1340 champion. Hasn't found championship success in the platinum class yet. That Dayglow yellow calf, Wayne Williams popping out and passing some of the Pro 1500s. Further back, Drew Altman's doing the same as he charges in his lime green car down into turn one, and he was trying around the outside. Raiden Nicol with Gustavo Raffles just behind, so the top two in Pro 1500. Line astern. And whilst Nicol had it easy in practice and qualifying, he was definitely a second quicker. With traffic around now, this gives Gustavo Raffles something to hunt for. And he's already having to protect quite severely. Raiden Nicol not quite happy with the 93 machine at the moment. You can see he's defensive in his posture as they head down out of 7 and down through into turn 10. A stunning section of this circuit, high-speed chicane. Looks like we've got Chip Roma slowing a little bit potentially, just on the inside there. And Mike Anzaldi having a tough time just negotiating a slowing Chip Roma. So the drone shot showing the proximity to the operational side of the runways, the airport here at Sebring International Raceway. And speaking of flying, the number 22 of Mackay Stevens goes down the back of one of the World War II bomber runways with quite a strong lead. You can see there, though, that 1, 2, 3, and 4, the platinum class cars, Mackay Stevens, Louis Schreiber, Ben Blander, Wayne Williams. And further back, there's a strong fight for a little bit further back in the pack. Mike Anzaldi, Austin Riley, Ryan Persing duking it out. Persing, a karter come race car driver this weekend. And lots to learn. Certainly how to deal with traffic. Faster cars, and there's damage on the 28 of Gustavo Raffles. Bodywork rubbing, so it would appear that Raffles and Raiden Nicol have come together somewhere. In fact, we can't see. Just trying to pick up Raiden on track. He is still there. So it was one of the platinum class cars, so it looks like possibly Gustavo Raffles has got into the back of. There's a huge amount of smoke bellowing out of the Hankook rubber. But you can see it's just a tyre being worn on some bodywork. Hopefully the fiberglass bodywork will rub away and Raffles can continue. So perhaps just getting into the back of Raiden Nicol there with an opportunity, trying to make an opportunity early on. And Scott Wagner in the thick of things as well in the number 8 machine. Andy Vocal back in the lead of Pro 1340 from Seth Bacon. So Vocal with impressive speed all throughout this weekend. So the leaders negotiate the final few corners and onto 16. And the long back straightaway past the Porsche paddock, past the Radical Cup paddock. Jack Yang being chased by Gustavo Raffles, who's reset after that drama. Looks like a really good battle for third place overall. Ben Blander, Louis Schreiber duking it out. So this is for second, third. Wayne Williams is in the fight as well. They've all closed a little bit on Mackay Stevens. Blander impressively moves up to second. So Blander, who didn't start racing that long ago out at Autobahn Country Club, has put in a huge amount of effort in the Radicals to learn his craft. Success in Pro 1340. He's bought some other machinery as well, including an Adrian Newey Formula One car, would you believe? He's only had 4 laps in that so far, getting used to the H-pattern gearbox. Of course, the Radicals, a full sequential paddle shift style gearbox in these SR10 machines. Auto blip on the downshift. And a little bit easier than early 90s Formula One machinery to negotiate. Ben Blander, extremely impressive. So Mackay Stevens has just fallen back into the clutches of Blander. Wayne Williams looking particularly racy. That was an unbelievable opening lap for Wayne Williams. The sprint car star turned tarmac warrior. And Wayne Williams from Canada, he resides in Texas now. He found great success on the streets of Toronto over the last couple of years. It was a happy hunting ground. He loves an SR10 when there's wet weather conditions, when the track is greasy. I think he loves the bumps of Sebring as well. And you could see he was lining up Louis Schreiber. So as they come onto the front straightaway, Wayne Williams right under the rear wing and under the diffuser of Louis Schreiber. Looks to the outside. Williams will like going around the outside, I think. He's certainly got the bit between his teeth, and Williams does do it. Around the outside, what a fantastic move. They're still side by side, though. Louis Schreiber going to the braking zone of turn 3 on the inside. Williams has to let go of the throttle a little bit earlier and live to fight another day. So great battling between the 111 of Louis Schreiber and Wayne Williams. Not used to seeing Louis Schreiber in a black car. Typically runs a white livery, and that's what caught me out on that opening lap. So used to seeing a white car with a little bit of blue. Big Blue Swim, one of his sponsors, and typically Louis gets one of his kids to design the car livery. We'll be looking forward to seeing the entire Schreiber clan out at Road America later. In fact, Louis hails originally from the Wisconsin area. And it's always good to see a big supporter base for Louis Schreiber when we star alongside IndyCar at Road America. Of course, round 2 at Barber will also be starring alongside IndyCar. And we also get to see IndyCar at Laguna Seca this year as well. So some big tracks, some big opportunities for these drivers to show their stuff in front of the IndyCar paddock, the team owners. And a big shout out to last year's outright champion and indeed Pro 1500 champion, Jordan Missig, really fast in the Indy Next series yesterday. He was 4th quickest and I think raised a lot of eyebrows. Again, shows the caliber of drivers coming out of this championship. And the likes of Raiden Nicol will be looking to follow in Jordan Missig's footsteps. Again, Wayne Williams very, very tight with Louis Schreiber. A little bit of a hip and shoulder. Williams this time on the inside down into turn 1. This should make things easier as they go into that high-speed sweeper, relying on all the downforce of these prototype machines. But look at that. Louis Schreiber's managed to switch back, and somehow Williams, who was on the inside, finds himself again on the outside. A great battle for the 3rd step of the podium in the Platinum class. Raffles has sort of regained his feet after that drama with the rubbing bodywork on the tyre. He sits third behind Jack Yang and Raiden Nicol, who still has command of Pro 1500. Austin Riley's moved up to fourth in that class. That's great to see. So we continue to watch the action from the Platinum runners. And then it's still Andy Vocal. In fact, I'd like to go back and see if we can pick up the 77 that's just heading into turn 3 at the moment and turn 4, because there is a number of 1340 cars running line to stern as that's the 8 of Scott Wagner's had a moment. So he was running 5th in class and overall. But it would be great to go back to the 77. It's Clapham, Bacon, D'Ambrose, Aurora Strauss, Darden, O'Hayon, Kenny Nail, and Dermot Ennis, all running line astern in Pro 1340. It's a little bit of separation between them. And a car just down in pit lane laying rubber in front of the commentary booth. So Mike Anzaldi comes through past the aircraft hangars. And Anzaldi sits behind Ryan Persing, Austin Riley, Gustavo Raffles. There's Vocal in the lead of Pro 1340. And that looks like Valen Venkatesh right behind him in the 1500 class. We'll see a rule at Barber Motorsports Park right now, but it's younger Valen who's cutting his teeth in the championship this weekend. Lots of really fresh faces and young guns joining the fight. And great to see in Pro 1500. Seems to just create talent, that class. And great to see the likes of Gustavo Raffles back in the championship hunt in that one. So Ben Blander's certainly got his mirrors full still of Louis Schreiber. Or Wayne Williams rather, Louis Schreiber. Drew Altman. It was actually Drew Altman that I was just picking up. He's got his mirrors full of Scott Wagner, who'd had that moment earlier. So we're following now the 77 of Brody Clapham for Ryspec Racing with YD Auto Group. And side by side, that's the leader in Pro 1340, Andy Vocal, being eclipsed by Valen Venkatesh, who needs to clear Vocal. That was a very crucial move for him if he's got any chance to close in on Mike Anzaldi in that Pro 1500 fight. You can see Anzaldi just in the right of screen there, quite a bit of distance as they exit turn 13. And the 44, disaster for a Canadian competitor. That's Cedric O'Hayon, who's found himself beached on the inside and trying to recycle that car. You can see he's gesturing to the marshals. So Cedric O'Hayon being coached this weekend by a sim racer. And Radical seeing more and more sim racers join the championship. Of course, Radical also involved with the program that takes sim stars to the real world, and that's the Prodigy Racing Series. 28 SR1s running in that, and in fact a number of personnel were just at Atlanta Motorsport Park for one of the rounds. It involved some of the top sim racing outfits from around the globe, including Williams Esport, and the SR1 being used to full effect in that Prodigy Racing Series. In fact, they just announced that Mav TV has picked up the rights to that series, and you can follow along that championship on Mav TV. So Wayne Williams is closing in again on Ben Blander. And now Mackay Stevens looks to have dropped back a little bit again. So it just seems that Mackay Stevens, they pass that car. The full course caution's out. Wayne Williams has popped, but I think the full course caution is out. So he might have to readdress that situation. And we could see the stranded car just on the exit of turn 16. It couldn't remain there forever. Obviously, O'Hayon unable to refire the 44. Wayne Williams has done the right thing there and just readdressed his situation with Ben Blander. 15 minutes remain, so this is a lot of opportunity now for the front runners in the Platinum class to do what they need to do. Wayne Williams will be looking to get past Blander. What can Mackay Stevens do? He just looks like he's struggling a little bit to maintain a consistent pace, or is that team orders? Be surprised if it is from Mackay Stevens. He's pretty much a class act. Louis Schreiber will be looking to see what he can do. Now, Raiden Nicol, who's done all the hard work here, will be frustrated with a full course caution because that'll allow Jack Yang and Gustavo Raffles, Austin Riley, Ryan Persing, Mike Anzaldi, Valen Venkatesh with the free pass here. See, that was a crucial moment for him to get around Andy Vocal because now he'll be on the gearbox of the 61 machine. It's closing up all the classes. So the good news is, with the Alan J safety team out on circuit, the 14 minutes remain. There's plenty of time to get this number 44 clear and get on with the motor race. Fantastic livery. Big shout out to Radical Canada East and Lima Racing. Great to see them down here doing a bit of the snowbird effect. It's cold in Canada. In fact, Austin Riley's dad was showing me pictures of how much snow there was in front of the family home as they loaded up the trailer to come on down to Sebring. And something like 6-7 feet in front of the house. So all the Canadians enjoying the warmer weather. So too are the Englishmen over here. We mentioned that Jack Yang's now supported by Valor, who's based in England, found plenty of success in radical racing, not just in the UK, but also in the Middle East as well. Has set up operations on 3 continents. Of course, Radical Cup competition, really, other than the big 3 GT manufacturers, being Porsche, Ferrari and Lamborghini, Radical the only other manufacturer to offer national level Cup series across the globe. And whether it's in Australia, the Middle East, England, Canada, the USA, you can tick off the bucket list tracks just like this one, Sebring International Raceway, and you can see the cars as they cross that big section of runway there, some of the repaved elements of the circuit. It's really hard as a driver to pick up some of your sightings because you go from areas of the circuit where it's almost a concrete canyon, almost a street circuit with the barriers running right up to the edge of the racetrack, and then the barriers diverge and you sort of end up in the abyss and often in a sea of concrete or certainly a sea of pavement. All the transporters lined up. Great shot of the paddock and all the Radical Cup flags flying just at this end of the paddock where we are this weekend. Radical Cup hospitality taking place in the Don Panos Museum building. And a bit of the nature here at Sebring Raceway. There's a few cats around the circuit as well, so I'd watch out if I was you, Bird. Right. So as we mentioned, a number of drivers switching up camps for this year. Spencer Schmidt moving over to Graham Rahal Performance. Jack Yang moving from Group A to his global team Valor. Wayne Williams too made the move from S's Racing to One Motorsports. We also had a bit of a separation of church and state with Team Stradale, who was partnered with Rhino Racing, deciding to do their own thing this year. But plenty of strong teams in this field, and great to see the likes of NS Racing joining the grid. So the flags are certainly being relaxed at the starter stand. 10 minutes remain on the clock. We've got the front row. He's got a huge amount of talent. Probably drives radicals more than most kids, that's for sure. Assisting with the racing school out at Atlanta Motorsport Park. Raiden Nicole. What will Jack Yang be able to do in the 21 machine? What will Gustavo Raffles be able to do now that he knows that the bodywork isn't rubbing on that Hankook tyre any longer? Austin Riley, no stranger to a podium. Mike Anzaldi either. And what about the rookies? Ryan Persing, Valen Venkatesh. They're now right up behind their fellow Pro 1500 drivers. Andy Vocal, will he be able to sustain the pressure in Pro 1340? It's been a dream opening act for Vocal, and we hope to see him in more championship events because he's certainly stamped his authority on that class for the moment. Brady Clapham's found himself in a podium position at the moment. Seth Bacon will be looking to take another podium and add a trophy to his cabinet. Aurora Strauss, look out for her in the 72 machine. We know that she can find a podium in the Radical Cup Series as well. High caliber field of drivers, all three titles up for grabs. This is just the start. This is race 1 of 18 for the championship. The first of 3 this weekend. The 2 sprint races will be followed by a race with a mandatory pit stop. And the green flag flies. We're racing again at Sebring. And already the Platinum class cars fighting it out at the front. The red on the rear wings of the Pro 1500s running line astern. And Ryan Persing looks like he's in the box seat. Jostling for position is Scott Wagner. And Ben Blander. Louis Schreiber's been relegated a little bit. Raiden Nicole with a buffer between himself and Jack Yang. So Wayne Williams will know that 7 minutes, 30 seconds remain. Down into turn 7 they go. Will Wayne Williams, I don't think he's close enough to have a dive, a lunge down the inside of the 134 of Ben Blander. Further back, it looks like Aurora Strauss is just defending into turn 7 at the moment. So Raiden Nicole has those faster Platinum class cars pass, and now opportunistic. That was very, very nicely done for Scott Wagner, who sends it down the inside of the green monster of Drew Altman. And that car, actually a pretty special car. It was a one-off color, a special green to commemorate the fact that Radical held the Nürburgring lap record for so many years with the SR8, which was really the predecessor, the precursor to the SR10. And a stunning livery, of course. Radical does offer that kind of personalization for customers if they wish. Lots of drivers just electing to wrap cars, but you can certainly pick your custom color That's a fun process for some. Further back, it's looking pretty racy as well, with Gustavo Raffles lining up Jack Gang as we have a Pro 1340 car. That's Seth Bacon that's found himself wide on the racetrack. Now, he's well and out of contention and out of the way. I think that looks good to me. Hopefully we can keep this racing green because he's well off the racetrack, not in a bad spot at all. Meanwhile, Ben Blander running second in class. He has found some pace. Didn't quite show it in qualifying, but is settled into the groove here in race 1 of the championship. Wayne Williams, what can he do? Can he find his way past the 134? Louis Schreiber sits just off the podium at the moment. Jack Yang is now behind Raiden Nicol on the racetrack. But unfortunately for Jack, Raiden's a little bit further up the road. It's just strung out a little bit between those front runners in Pro 1500 as they head down into turn 7. Just looking a little bit further back to see how Andy Vocal's doing from the commentary booth as we continue to watch this battle in the Platinum class. This is for first, or second and third overall rather. So Wayne Williams, who was right on the gearbox of the 134, just seems to be struggling as he consumed too much of the Hankook rubber. These are torque monsters, these beasts of an SR10. You definitely have to be genteel with the right foot. You have to be conscious of the fact that you only have 2 sets of Hankooks. Between qualifying race 1 and race 2, there's a bit of strategy. You can see side-by-side action between Scott Wagner, Louis Schreiber, the EVR cars running side-by-side. Further back, it looks like Gustavo Raffles is still under the rear wing of Jack Yang. Will pick up some of the action in Pro 1500. So through goes Wagner and Louis Schreiber. Wagner's now ahead of him. Raiden Nicol down the front straightaway is still in command of Pro 1500. Raffles to the outside as Jack Yang has to defend on the inside down into turn 1. So we continue to follow this fantastic battle between Wayne Williams and Ben Blander. I don't think Blander's ever been under this much pressure. Vocal, something's happened to him. The 34 machines tumbled down the order. We have a new race leader in Pro 1340, the Canadian. Brady Clapham has found himself in the lead for Ricebeck Racing with YD Auto Group. Fantastic for him. In fact, it's Canadians. The Canadian in front, Aurora Strauss, has carved her way up to second on the racetrack. Mike Dambrose third. That car of Seth Bacon continues to be just on the sidelines. No issue there. The white flag is being prepared. 2 minutes 44 remain on the clock. So Blander just appears as he's just found a bit of breathing space. He's found his rhythm behind his teammate in Mackay Stevens. And Ben Blander is heading down into turn 17. Mackay Stevens just massaging things, I think. He's got the pace. Wayne Williams continuing to try and close in on the gearbox of Ben Blander. They will have 2 more laps. Austin Riley's trundling through pit lane, so disaster for car 20. The white flag is out, so there is 1 more to go here at Sebring. Perfect timing, under 2 minutes. These cars travelling around this circuit at 2 minutes, flat just about. Mackay Stevens leads the field for the final tour of race 1. And a big one, a big move on that final tour for Wayne Williams, who's found his way past Ben Blander in the 134 as they head around turn 1 and down into turn 3. This time, Williams, with all of that learning that he did with Louis Schreiber earlier in the race, has positioned that 57 car perfectly. Perhaps that's what he was doing, just saving the tyres. keeping things calm, getting his brake temperatures back down, and putting everything together to have one final lunge at Ben Blander, and he's done it. Wayne Williams up to second. Fantastic stuff. Jack Yang still second in Pro 1500, with Gustavo Raffles perhaps salvaging third here after a challenging opening couple of laps after that restart. Damage on the front end of that Raffles machine, and it seemed to just unsettle his race. He was vying for the win early on with Raider Nicole, now vying for third. A final step of the podium, still a strong start for him in the championship. Ryan Persing following in his brother's Nick's footsteps. What a great result this will be, just off the podium in fourth. Jack Yang looking to take gold class honours as well. And Aurora Strauss finding her way into second in Pro 1340. This is fantastic stuff. So the leaders make their way under the WeatherTech Bridge for the final time. Ride the bucking Broncos that are the SR10s on the pavement of Sebring International Raceway. And Mackay Stevens takes a win from Wayne Williams. Ben Blander will finish third in the Platinum class. We're looking to see Raider Nicole come around to start his championship campaign in style. His debut win in the Radical Cup North America Series for the number 93, Raider Nicole. Jack Yang takes second in his debut for Valor. And on his return, the 2021 Pro 1500 champion, Gustavo Raffles, wraps up third place. Fantastic result for him. In Pro 1340, he's just taken the checker flag. Congratulations to Brady Clapham taking the win. Aurora Strauss comes across the line in that stunning P1 Motor Club machine. And taking third for Team Stradale, that's 3 podium positions for them today. Congratulations to Mike D'Ambrose. So Andy Vocal wasn't able to convert his pole position. He'd finished fourth. Frustrating day at the office. We'll be interested to see what happened to him. Kenny Nail coming across the line there. So some new names at the top of the charts in the Radical Cup North America Series. Of course, we thank our sponsors, McDonald's, Hankook, Advanced Sim Racing, USAC, Sunoco, Racing Radios, HRX as well. All of our partners, whether they're global or local, we couldn't do it without them. And we couldn't do it without these fantastic drivers either. I was speaking to a couple of the guys and realizing how many Radicals they own. Would you believe that Louis Schreiber's on his 7th or 8th Radical, we think? So too with Jack Yang, unbelievable. The customer attention, the fact that they love these cars and love this motor racing. It was a bit of carnage and chaos in the opening lap. Things settled down and some new stars were born, adding to the winners list of Fangio, Moss, Brabham, Andretti, McNish, Moore. That was race 1 of 18 for the 2025 Radical Cup North America Series. We'll head on down to the podium and celebrate the victors. And for now, we'll leave you with some shots for the Stars and Stripes. Just here at Sebring International Raceway. That was the Radical Cup. For the Radical World Finals at Yas Marina, the green flag's flying, and already, look, what is that? 5, 6, 7, 8 wide cars off into the wall. You're racing hard and fast.
scoot in just a little bit. There you go. Take a look here.
I love you, Brady!
All right, look here
Represent all
again.
the queers!
Let's give them a big round of applause.
I just realized
We go to
something.
the champagne.
It didn't fit.
Ladies and gentlemen, the top three of Pro 1340.
Yeah, Brady! That's all!
Bring in the public. It's time to celebrate.
Brady!
There's some strategy playing out here on the podium.
Don't make each other wet!
Get ready. Then we'll count you down. 3, 2, 1. Let's celebrate!
Let's try it again!
All right, we'll move on to in third place. He's also returned to the series and immediately made a mark. Congratulations, Gustavo Raffel. The last time he was on the podium, he was taking a championship in Pro 1500. He's back in second place with a new team. He also finds the podium. Congratulations, Jack Yang!
Yeah, Jack Yang! I love you too!
And last year he was unlucky not to take a win in his debut. This time he's gone picture perfect. Congratulations, his debut win in the Radical Cup Championship, Raiden Nicol!
We'll be in the middle, son.
He's like, where's my Hector?
Yeah, where's my Hector? That's my complimentary.
You guys doing a little bit?
Right, gentlemen, we'll get those trophies and chest ties.
Look here. Look here.
Nice
Look
and
here.
high, gentlemen. Let's give them a round of applause.
Good.
Jeff Yang also taking gold class honours. Congratulations to him. We'll bring in the champagne. Bring in the gold class trophy as well, Jack. You got plenty of hardware for Bella Racing. Congratulations.
Yeah, Jack! You're my hero!